Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Merry stupid o'clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and yes, while you kind folks get to enjoy waking up leisurely this morning, us poor call center jocks, well, we gotta be up bright and early because guess who has to be on the phones at 8 a.m.? I'm not bitter at all. Not at all. At least I got to have an awesome taco Christmas, right? Alright, we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we get started this morning, folks, just a few of the usual disclaimers, alright? First off, you are going to see the link to this report done back in January of 2017, right there in the description box, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, also the templates. Type your name, click on your senator, assist us in ending adversive punishments. Adversive therapy, my ass, they're punishments. And improper restraints and seclusion in public schools. Folks, this kills kids every single year, okay? And also the ever-present and self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. Now, trigger warning. And yes, the allergies kicked in. My folks live out in the middle of nowhere. So the last few hours have been fun. Okay. So excuse my allergies, please. So, folks, trigger warning. When we speak about the JRC, you're going to catch clips of surveillance footage up, and you're also going to hear vivid descriptions of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you have young children present, please use your headphones, all right? Okay. It is 4:24 a.m., stupid o'clock in the morning. If you think I'm awake, no, not even close, not even remotely. So if I stumble over any of my words this morning or go off into a curse-filled rant, my apologies in advance, alright? Also, excuse me if I have to bunch down to the computer. I have my co-anchor in front of me who refuses to go on camera but likes to take up the space of where mommy needs to be. So, yeah. Say hi to the Brahma cat. Alright, so we're going back to where we left off yesterday in this report. Facts pertinent to allegations investigated. Now, if you remember our video from yesterday, if you've seen it, then you know they're sitting there saying, well, nothing really happened here, but it wasn't a false report either. It's weird shit. So, prepare yourself for some stupid. I'm going to fortify myself with some calming tea. According to I2, during a regulatory scheduled appointment on June the 14th, 2016, ALV disclosed that she had difficulties with staff at her residential placement. ALV said that she is restrained when she is angry and sometimes pinched or hit by staff hard. ALV described two specific staff she had issues with. ALV described the incident from June 21st, 2016, for male staff who had taken away her flat iron after a female staff had told her that she could use it for 10 minutes. Then the male staff burned the back of her hand with the flat iron, threw her on the floor, and bent back her fingers. ALV described this male staff wanted her to have behaviors and take her clothes off. Oh my God. In other words, this is one of these bizarre behavioral lessons that they don't think it's abuse because it's in her behavior plan. God. Sick bastards. ALV also described a female staff person who had hurt her, by taking the phone from her in February and not allowing her to call blank, and also prior Sunday, July the 10th, 2016, by throwing ALV's food on the floor. ALV told I2 that nothing hurt her on July the 14th, 2016, and he reports although she had some slight darkened areas of skin and possible slight abrasions on the arms, the areas were not tender and there was no evidence of swelling, bleeding, or skin break. Okay, so it doesn't matter how bruised they are unless there's actual damage in regards to split skin. The fuck? Oh no, bruises are fine. God, what level of special hell is this place? I too did not consider these serious injuries. Oh, for fuck's sake. Imagine... Oh, I'm not even getting into it. ALV handed I2 a note with ALB's names on it as she left his office, and he assumed that these two were staff to whom she had referred. In other words, folks, let me put it out. I'm sorry, I can't ignore this. It's believe all women, unless the women are disabled. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Believe all women, unless the woman's disabled. You see, we don't count because in these people's eyes, we're not real women. So anytime you women want to sit there and believe all women, my ass. What you doing about us? That's right, you don't give a damn. You only care about when one of your own gets caught in a lie. Just saying. But, fuck us who are stuck in a hellhole like this getting abused every day because, we don't matter. I2 reported that although he does know ALV from seeing her in the past, he had no way to judge her ability to accurately report what had previously occurred. You see, this is even when I talk about the JD case. The few times people like us even come forward with abuse, what do? This shit right here. This shit right here. But they don't really know what happened to them. They're not really abused. I believe that they think that was what happened. But it's not true, Judge. This is why people with disabilities don't fucking come forward, because we're never goddamn believed, regardless of what our gender is. My Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen. My Exhibit A right here. I6 states that ALV is verbal and can describe her wants and needs, but that the struggles with daily living skills. They used to say the same about me. Dismissive pricks. Hey, I've been living on my own since I'm 18, but I don't have daily living skills. I6 stated that ALV intellectual disability and her rationalizing her thoughts in regards to her behaviors interfere with her development and functioning. It sounds to me like you think that's just a good excuse to keep her there. But you don't know how to rationalize if you're autistic. Pick up a DSM-5 sometime, folks. Most of the time, that's all we do. People actually criticize us outside of this hellhole in society for being too hyper-rational, too analytical. We're either unfeeling or unthinking, folks. It can't be both. I6 noted that ALV can be aggressive and or disrobe when she is trying to access tangible items that she desires. I6 described that ALV lacks insight and impulse control, and that at times ALV's aggressive behaviors can lead to restraints. Excuse, victim blame, victim blame, victim blame. And yet you're going to put people with only 3 weeks in training over this so-called probable person. Okay, Jan. I6 described ALV also tends to make allegations against staff when she is either denied an object she desired or is not able to spend as long as she wants with particular items. Oh, so she's lying. Is she, though? Is she? Is she? Or is that just what you will tell the judges who know absolutely fucking nothing about autism at all, so that you can get away with your barbaric shit and call it treatment, and therefore it is just looked over? I6 describes that ALV does seem to really believe that staff are abusing her, when they may have been redirecting her or restraining her for safety. Really? So shocking her is for safety. Depriving her of food is for safety. Depriving her of objects that allow her to self-regulate and get herself back under control without your barbaric bullshit. God. Try taking my freaking ponytail holders from me, assholes. Go ahead. Try that shit. ALV was interviewed by C1, but she did not want to discuss the allegations further. I'm sorry, folks, but something fucking happened. You don't just act afraid of someone for no reason. These people are abusing these kids day in and day out, and then they act completely confounded when a situation like this pops up. When I1 was contacted about the allegations, he had staff attempt to locate footage of the alleged June 21st, 2016 incident. Staff did find that there was an incident with a flat iron involving ALV and ALAB1 on the day ALV mentioned. The staff working with ALV that day were LAB1, I3, I4, and I5. ISIS asked and did not find it unusual that ALV would be able to recall dates and write names from past incident. I6 stated that due to blank, ALV is good at remembering dates, names, and times. Also, ALV often writes about incidents. But I6 cautioned that you have to watch the footage to clarify, as ALV can recall specific events and times, even if she made it her own details of the incident. You fucking bastards. Oh, they're making it all up. This is what I'm talking about, folks. Do you want to know how many times my fucking aunt would sit there and tell me it wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be, that it didn't happen the way I said it did, that I was coming up with more and more details all the time, that can't be right? Yeah, this is what they do, folks. This is what they do. I1 and I6, after seeing the footage of the incident, stated that ALV's behavior in the footage, crying out that the staff was abusing her, and disrobing in response to staff actions, was typical for her. I1 noted that he had seen ALV disrobe and hit staff, but state that staff was actually abusing her at times when staff was not touching her. Oh, okay, so it's only abuse when you're touching them. It doesn't matter that you shock them for breathing wrong, or deprive them of food, or deprive them of sleep, which deprives even the regular people, folks, of rational thought. Oh, but it's all our fault, you see. How dare we exist while being autistic? Footage shows ALV getting her flat iron out of her nightstand at 7:58 a.m. ALV walks around her room with the flat iron for a time, then sits on her bed and brushes her hair. ALAB1 tells ALV she can't use the flat iron. I1 tells ALV that she does not have time to do her hair with the iron that morning because the bus is there. ALV continues and may say something in response, to which I4 says, "Excuse me. If you do that, you'll definitely lose your flat iron and your blank, so try it." ALAB1 says, "Go look to see the bus is there." ALV stated that she did not believe it to be there. ALV started to disrobe and go look. 8:05 a.m. and I4 states, "As soon as you take off that shirt, you're going to have to lose that blank." ALAB1 says, "Bring me her sheet so I can mark it down so she can lose her breakfast option." You see what I mean? But they don't think that's abuse. ALV has a behavioral contract that allows her an extra snack and drink of choice if she has none of the certain specified behaviors. Oh no, you're not gonna fool me there, JRC, DPPC. No, she doesn't get to eat breakfast now. We've already read it in all the other reports. Because you have to earn the right to eat there. I4 says that she will do ALV's hair that night when they return home. And another student who has come to encourage ALV says that she does it nice. ALV goes back with the iron. Others are in and out, but at 8:08 a.m., I4 returns and puts the flat iron in the nightstand again, and again says she'll do it at night. I4 puts clothes out for ALV and leaves again. At 10 a.m., ALB1 comes in and asks ALV, "Why are you giving people such a hard time today?" ALV says she wasn't, and ALB1 says, "Yes, you were, and you got pinpointed," the term the agency uses for verbal behavior consequence. We all know what the term pinpointed is. It means they shocked her. Bastards. But that's not abuse, right, DPPC? Staff leave and ALV walks around the room and shuts the door around 12 a.m. At 8:14 a.m., I4 opens the door and goes in and out, telling ALV, "No." Oh my God, I can't see. It says to ALV, "If you close your door one more time, you're going to get pinpointed." ALV makes a motion to disrobe and says that ALV told her she was pinpointed already, but I4 told her she was not. I4 walks out and says to ALV, "Stop closing this door. You don't have independence in this house." Oh, but it's not abuse. ALB1 enters and says to ALV, hurry up right now, put your stuff away." Response, ALV takes her shirt off. ALB1, "Put your stuff away." And in response, ALV takes her bra off. And ALB1 says, "She's doing the impossible." ALB1 calls for I3 or other female staff as ALV stands naked and banging the window of the room. This continues for a few minutes as ALB1 and the other students continue calling for female staff. I3 responds at 8:20 a.m. and others leave. I3 pulls the door partly closed and hands ALV her clothes, and ALV puts them on. ALV then sits calmly brushing her hair for a number of minutes. At 8:33 a.m., a staff off-camera remarks that I3 is letting ALV flat iron her hair. ALB1 is heard saying, "She can't do that." The staff off-camera, who sounds to be I4, says, "She's sitting on her bed fucking flat ironing her hair. I know as soon as we go in there, she's going to disrobe." ALB1 then walks in and says to ALV, "We can't do that and let's go." In response, ALV takes off her top. ALB1 walks over to the female staff present and takes ALV by the arm in a hold that does not appear to be consistent with supportive guide. ALV drops to the floor and ALB1 continues to move her forward. ALV begins verbalizing any matter that appears distressed, repeating words over and over again. ALV1 holds ALV down, and I3 attempts to put the clothes on her. ALV constitutes to appear distressed, to not willingly participate, and to verbalize over and over something that sounds like, "You're abusing me, you're abusing me, you're abusing me." Another staff comes in and removes the flat iron from where it had been on the windowsill. ALB1 continues to hold ALV by the arms from behind, while ALV is screaming and fighting his I3 movements. I5 enters about 8:35 a.m. ALV is pinpointed for scratching others. Oh my god. You bastards! I5 and ALB1 continue to hold ALV while I3 tries to put her clothing on. At 8:37 a.m., I4 enters and she had I3 continue to try and dress ALV, as ALV continues to vocalize in a distressed manner. At 8:40, ALB1 again points ALV for scratching and tells her she is going to go to school. I4 speaks to the other staff, telling them, "I hope you know we are all going to get a nice PIO, performance improvement opportunity. JRC staff wanting discipline for this." At 8:42 a.m., while still holding ALV by the arms, and while ALV is repeating, "You're abusing me," ALAB1 and I5 try to pull ALV up at I4's direction. ALV is not standing, and appears that the staff drags or carries her out of the room. It is not evident at any point that ALAB1 has burned ALV with the flat iron, which appears to be on the windowsill at the point at which she entered. No, you just nearly shocked her to death, but you know. What does that matter, right? ALAB1 does take hold of ALV and remove a brush from her hand. ALAB1 does not appear to push ALV to the ground. She appears to drop herself there. Yeah, because God forbid we drop ourselves and get away from you fucking maniacs. ALAB1's hands cannot clearly be seen, but all the staff present denied that they had ever saw him injure ALV in any way, including burning her hand or bending her fingers back. No, you only freaking shocked her. But you know, that doesn't hurt. It's just barely below the fucking lethal limit. But it doesn't hurt. God, I hate people. Other staff indicate that ALV did not report injury that day and saw none. Staff do clearly overcome ALV's active resistance and hold her down for nearly 10 minutes, for at least half of which she is partially naked. This is not in keeping with her written behavior plan, which directs that ALV should be pointed with a no. Good God. So, in other words, instead of manhandling her, shock her. And make her behave. God, I hate people. And the staff should limit speaking and eye contact with ALV, and only provide verbal prompts to go to school every 30 minutes. OABA at its fucking finest, ladies and gentlemen. Additional portion of her daily recording sheets direct staff to use at least restrictive methods and only restrain in a supine floor hold when necessary. ALV was calm prior to ALAB1's arrival to the room. Least restrictive measures were not attempted. It is clear that staff action mostly added to ALV's behaviors on June 21st, 2016. Gee, ya fucking think? And that little attempt, if any, was made to follow her treatment plan. I6 confirmed that staff had other options, such as limiting eye contact, giving reminders and prompts. Also, I6 stated that items blank can be removed for safety reasons, and threat of removal is not approved technique. A review of nursing notes for June shows entries only on the 2nd and the 28th, unrelated to this incident. A review of the restraint forms for June shows that the restraints of ALV were documented only on June 17th, 2016. ALAB1's actions do clearly cause a change in ALV's V's previously calm demeanor, but there is no evidence that she was physically injured by his actions. He only shocked her, but, there's no injury. ALV wrote of the June 21st incident asking AIB1 and I3 to be given big PIOs for inappropriately restraining her in her room and carrying her down the stairs and onto the bus. I7 stated that this note appeared on his desk after July the 10th and July the 18th, 2016. I7 stated that it is not uncommon for notes from ALV to appear on his desk like this. He states that ALV gives them to random people and asks them to deliver them to him. Okay. So we're going to stop here for this morning. Excuse me. And we're going to point out some very obvious, sad facts of life. Whenever somebody has a disability, especially if it's a neurological disability or a mental health issue, we are literally 10 times more likely to be completely disbelieved and dismissed and disregarded, and sometimes even stuck back into the hellhole from which we just escaped, than not. Yeah. So, what does that tell us? Look at what the DPPC is doing to this girl. They are disregarding and dismissing out of hand everything that she says. And why are they doing that, folks? From their own fucking ableism. They are buying hook, line, and sinker what the JRC is saying. That she does this all the time. That she lies because she doesn't get her way. Or that she might actually think she's being abused, but she's not. Because these assholes somehow can't fucking see that depriving people of sleep and food and shocking the hell out of them every day and having that fear follow them every day, somehow they do not see that as torture and abuse. And they get people like the DPPC to go along with it. And they will justify doing that shit by saying they are having behaviors. More often than not, behaviors that they themselves induced so that they can be shocked for it. So, it's not just this case or the school though, folks. There's a reason why adult disabled people are so reluctant to go to police when they are being abused by a significant other. It really is believe all women unless they're disabled. Or shit. Let's take a look at the double whammy of people like fucking Andre McCollins. Do you think anyone would have believed that he was abused as a disabled man had that video not gone viral? Yeah, that's the world we live in. Poor guy had 2 counts against him. He was autistic and male. Yeah. This is why this case is important, folks. It exposes so much more than just the JRC. It exposes how people with disabilities are treated whenever we try to come forward about anything, and how governments, legal bodies, everybody just dismisses us and disregards us unless it's politically convenient. Now, on that horrific note, I'm going to go ahead and close out for this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments and feed that algorithm. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.